Wait.
Oh! I didn't even know Roblox could have ARGs. I guess I'm ready to be surprised.
The strangest things about the channel Davey Does Tutorials 33 is the way he made his first 2 videos.
Okay.
His personality, descriptions, and comments aren't so different outside of them, but the content of those 2 videos feels off, like they're cheap imitations made by someone who's trying their hardest to be him, almost like it's a doppelganger.
Ooh.
These 8 videos tell one of the most mysterious stories I've seen, and the key to it is a location called The Remains. So to truly understand this ARG, we're going to have to identify what The Remains is and how exactly it works by combing through these videos, starting with this first one. Video number 1 is a fairly tame tutorial for the Roblox game World Tower Defense. There's not much going on outside the Windows Movie Maker editing and the royalty-free music, but both of these indicate that this is probably made by a kid. Speaking of, we're given 2 people here. Davey Does Tutorials 33 and Geometry, who's presumably his friend. I say presumably because...
Hey, can you help me record the video I am making?
No! Oh,
sorry,
damn.
like I already said before, I don't want to record for your video. I think you should find someone else instead. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah.
Once the stage ends and the 2 teleport back to the hub...
Can I please leave now? I don't even like World Tower Defense anymore.
No!
The outro cuts him off, and the video ends. Now, there's 3 important details I'd like for you to keep in mind as we continue through these videos.
Forcing him to
the capitalization
do
on
these
Davey's
videos.
username, his sliding movement towards Geometry, and Geometry's face change, along with his general want to leave. They're fairly important for understanding the anomaly we're going to encounter very soon.
Okay.
This video is pretty short, but still important. For around the first 40 seconds or so, Davey does an intro. When he mentions himself, he capitalizes the D in does. A seemingly innocent typo on the surface, but we'll get into that later. For now, just know that his and Geometry's base usernames are
Geometry looks happy now.
DaveyDos33 and Geometry Squared, respectively. Oh yeah, Geometry's here too, and he's happy right up until Davey rudely tells him to get in, at which point his face turns sad, most likely at the prospect of being forced to help record once again.
Okay, well, one thing I'm interested in. I haven't really played Roblox lately. I used to play it a while ago. Since when can you change your face in game, or is it like a World Tower Defense exclusive thing that you can change your face? I don't know.
The 2 teleport into the burdensome level, and
but you have to leave and join back to change your character.
Davey gives these little commentary tips once in a while, and at least from what we can see, Geometry kinda does the bare minimum, focusing on what I assume to be economy. Aside from that, nothing much else happens. But I want you to take a leap of faith. Keep these details in mind as we skip over to the snippet of the 4th video really quickly. You catch that? I mean, aside from the fact that Davey is a doppelganger, or at least something that looks exactly like him, take a look at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Assuming that the Davey playing here is the real Davey, the username that has the capital D in does is the one that correlates to the real person. Think back to the previous 2 videos you just saw. Both the times, that username lacked that capital D. It could just be a coincidental typo that he fixed later on. That brings us to my second point. That slide. The doppelganger here moved without any animation on his limbs, and we saw that exact same movement in the first video, when Davey dragged Geometry into the recording. Yeah, the Davey we've been watching so far, he's not the real Davey. This guy's a complete doppelganger of the actual protagonist of this ARG. That seemingly minor capitalization of the D in Davey's second self-introduction wasn't just for show. It was the doppelganger trying to pass as him. And if you're still skeptical about this, take a look at these descriptions and comments. It's odd. Like, despite the typos.
Hey guys, me Davey Tutorials, Tutorials 33, and really hope you like this video. I put me heart and soul into it, and I think it slashes wonderful, and I think will help you win PvP 99.2% of the time. Make sure to like and subscribe for extra epic awesome water content. Make sure y'all subscribe as well.
You can understand what these words mean, but that's the thing. Some of these just don't have meaning. Extra epic awesome water content? And here, my cat stepped on an egg, so I had to repair.
Wait, I'll try to upload a video every Sunday. My cat stepped on an egg, so I have to repair that egg for 2 weeks.
The egg for 2 weeks?
Huh?
You get what I mean, right? It's something that's trying to be human, but coming just short of it since it doesn't have that intrinsic human understanding. On one last note, Some of the text in both descriptions have an additional space that shouldn't be there. This is what we'll call the double motive. You still with me? I know that was a lot, but if you're going to remember anything about what makes these doppelgangers, remember this. The names will be slightly different and their movement will be animationless.
Yeah.
With that out of the way, let's dive into the third video. The first time we see the actual Davy.
Okay.
Davy introduces himself and his friend Z7K. We'll refer to him as Z from here on out. It's worth noting that he's actually interested in participating, unlike Geometry, who was forced by the Davy doppel. And on that note, Davy's username here has that capital D in does. It's safe to assume that this is the real one. The video continues through the common mistakes that beginners tend to make in World Tower Defense. It's pretty lighthearted and honestly kind of funny right up until the fourth mistake. There's a history in the chat log demonstrating Z's skepticism.
Hey, before I joined, I saw that you originally did this channel with another guy. What happened to him?
He
You're
died!
the only one I've done this week so far. You're solo on this Yeltsin channel? No, I literally saw another person. You must be crazy.
So Z's reasonably skeptical about Davy's claim. I mean, if you don't look closely, it's easy to mix up Davy with this doppelganger. But it makes sense that Davy isn't aware what Z's talking about.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember that collab because he
Maybe can you
wasn't
not
there.
see your own videos? I mean,
Eventually, the outro plays and the video ends. With that sound effect, mechanical and repeating. Now, hold on for just a second. We're not done yet. Around the 50-second point of this video, we get some commentary apologizing for Geometry's absence, saying that this is most likely the first-person view of Geometry who's hiding away from Davy and Z. But why? Is this because Davy's double charged him during the first video? What exactly happened to him? And are these two events even connected in the first place? There's a lot of questions raised by this, but not much circumstantial evidence to answer them. At least, not yet.
I need something, because I'm kind of all over the place now.
The beginning of the fourth video features a snippet of a long chat between Davy and Z, confirming that the interactions between the two in the previous video were completely scripted. They continue planning the approach of the next video until Z suddenly spots someone.
What was that?
Geometry. Get his ass! Get his ass!
Okay, let's go back a little bit.
Well, he's teleporting, so we're going into the match with Geometry, right?
Its shirt color is a few shades too light, and it has no walking animation towards the end. This is a doppelganger of Geometry, which is extremely concerning. With the way it remained invisible just until Davy saw it, it's almost like this doppelganger wanted to bait Davy into entering this elevator. A few moments later, Davy finally loads into the level's pregame. Shown on the screen ahead is his destination, the remains, and with no one else in the server, not even that Geometry doppelganger, only his vote is required to move forward. The local area is this desolate, foggy wasteland made up only of gray stone, unfinished structures, and
I wonder where the other guy went to, the doppelganger, because they were both in the elevator when they started teleporting, right?
There's no enemies, minimal income, and only one available unit for him to use. The rest have been forcibly removed from his
What is that unit?
He continues exploring to his right. These stone statues, almost identical in size to his avatar, line the area.
I am wondering though, like, how do you make this? Because I'm guessing that the World Tower Defense they're talking about is an actual Roblox game. Did the developer take part in making this ARG, or did they somehow, like, the person who made the ARG work with the developers to create this experience? Because they had to have made the elevator teleport to this place. I mean, it has the same UI, and I'm guessing it's just, yeah, you teleport from the original game, I'm guessing. I wonder how that went.
Wait.
Davy-33 has joined the server.
What?
Oh!
It's a bit of a shock.
I'm pausing again. That's probably the part where, like, Davy, the original Davy, like, was no more. He just got, like, I don't know, kidnapped, or the doppelganger took him away. That is kidnapped. I'm so stupid. But, like, that's probably the moment they switched. I'm guessing.
But based on the fact that there are more videos, we can conclude that Davy's most likely alright. The description corroborates this.
Never mind.
What the f***? I found out I can rejoin past server. I am too scared. Any advice? Please.
Okay.
He now has the option to rejoin the server, to re-enter the remains, which is concerning. Something's making these doppelgangers, and based on the bait tactic from Geometries, plus the new option to rejoin the past server, it's clear that there's something wants Davy to keep returning to the remains. Why, exactly? Hopefully, this next video can shed some light on that. Fifth video opens with Davey explaining what's been going on.
I've had the rejoin past server button for like a month now, and it's not been going away, even with all the time that's passed.
He's looking to re-enter the remains to further investigate the area. Around a minute into his monologue, Z joins.
Oh.
The two catch up for a bit.
I thought you hated solo. Yeah, well, anything for the people.
And when Z asks about the remains that he saw in the chat history, Davey just leaves. This marks the second time Davey's entered the remains, and already things have changed. His settings are now completely gone. Not even replaced by anything, just gone. He acknowledges this, but continues exploring.
Oh, there's something there.
With a bit of obbying, Davey enters this church-like structure, equipped with 2 kneeling statues and a tree in place of the usual lectern. Keep this tree in mind. It's the first instance of what we're going to call the tree motive. Since there's not much in this structure,
like summoning an entity?
Bullshit.
Davey DOS33 has joined the server.
Oh
the
no.
enemy count has just increased to 1. Davey scrambles back to the safety of the base, putting down the only option for defense.
Yeah, and he's got income now.
It's kinda odd. He can't interact with it like a normal unit,
like
so
a light?
he checks the upgrade panel and...
Oh
my god.
Davey and his doppelganger are at a standstill. The doppel clearly wants to approach, but can't.
Maybe he can't because of the light.
Stopping him.
Get away from me.
Eventually, the doppelganger complies, leaving
on
the path to the right.
Dude, what was that?
Davey's a bit scared, but he still continues on with
I would not walk away from the light.
As he continues walking, he comes across the same area where the doppel caught him last time. And in the exact place of contact is now this stone statue. It doesn't mean much alone, but keep this in mind as you progress further through these videos.
Are all the are all like the stone statues? Sorry, Mike. Are all the stone statues like these ones? Could that be like other? No, because that was his first time probably, or at least that one he remembers. So either these are also Davies that he doesn't remember anymore, or these are other people that are also like stuck in the remains, or like
walking for a while,
got caught in the
remains.
remains.
He's accrued enough money to upgrade his tower, but read its description. There are these odd spaces reminiscent of the doppel motive, but they're not quite it. These empty spots are from whole vowels missing, not from misplaced lettering. Around the 7.5 minute mark, Davey enters a temple.
Oh, it's gone dark.
The light didn't come back.
The area here has become extremely dark, leaving him
Put the light down
with only the tower placement indicator. He places down the occasional tower and eventually finds some sort of lever.
I wonder what that did.
He keeps walking, but when he tries to place another tower,
too many.
Apparently the limit is 5, but Davey had placed down 8 in total.
Damn.
It's possible that this is just rules working differently in the remains, though it could be something more sinister, like his doppel destroying these lights as he continues to trap
At this point, I straight up left the game and decided to come back to it another time after hearing sounds that I think.
Smart protagonist. Finally, somebody who just quits the game.
Someone chasing me.
This video raises a lot of questions. That's someone chasing him. Who could that have been? And why was Davey given only this tower as a source of defense? What makes it so effective against these doppelgangers? The last question we can answer, but to do so, we'll have to go slightly off sequence here into the 7th video.
Oh. We're just skipping the 6th one?
This video was actually made by Z alone. Apparently, Davey asked him to review this tower specifically since he can't play, most likely due to his time in the remains. I found it slightly odd that Davey would have Z reviewed this tower specifically until... Yeah, the Illuminator looks to be the same tower that Davey used to defend himself in the remains, and what really stands out to me about it is its usage, PvP. Davey had access to it in the remains, which implies that the remains is a PvP map, but if he was the only one in the server save for the doppelgangers, then who was he fighting? Who was summoning the doppels? Z continues through his overview of the Illuminator, which apparently has a placement limit of 4? Odd when you consider the 8 Davey placed and the alleged 5 limit that the remains establishes. Z goes over its interactions and combs through the tower's different upgrades, and on its 3rd one, the tower turns into something very interesting. The tree motive, basically a miniature model of the one we saw in remains. The 4th upgrade does stray from this, turning it into an obelisk surrounded by what looks like tree roots, but the name doesn't get any less subtle than that. Remainings. It's a PvP tower with direct references to the remains in shape and name. It's incredibly significant, but there's one last item I'd like to cover before we delve into that.
Actually, there's one last thing I want to try to do. I have admittedly seen Davey's recent videos.
Z tries to enter the remains himself and...
I don't get it.
This is normal.
How did he do it?
You either need to have joined the remains with the doppelganger or already have encountered a doppel in the remains.
Yeah.
But assuming that these doppels come from there, how are they made? I believe that the remains is making these doppelgangers. It's a living, learning entity that can summon them as one would summon units or towers. That's why the Illuminator works against the doppelgangers.
Okay.
It's a PvP tower that destroys the enemy units sent against Davy, the units sent by the remains. That being said, I don't think it has malicious intent. The area gave Davy the only tool he needed to defend himself, the Illuminator. It's even referenced right there in the first area, the church, with the tree motif, almost like it's telling Davy,
But what's
defend
the
yourself.
point of this level
the
then?
remains isn't trying to win against Davy, it's trying to learn. It's trying to adjust the doppelgangers. Even the unrefined ones already have some degree of learning. Think back to the behavior Davy's doppel exhibited when it got zapped. First off, it didn't immediately beeline to Davy's base, it went to him. And when the tower zapped it, it didn't mindlessly keep running into it. It demonstrated a basic level of decision making and cost-benefit analysis. And if the unrefined ones can already do that, then what are the refined doppelgangers capable of? Remember the first two videos, most likely uploaded by a more refined version of Davy's doppel, one that had more data to work with. Even that level of refinement wasn't enough. It produced a specific motive in its speech, focused too highly on Davy's
But
forceful
what's the
and aggressive
reason for
traits.
making
the remains
these
needs more data
doppelgangers?
to train its doppelgangers more, and that's why it lets Davy and only Davy in, rather than Z. It needs Davy to say more things, to act more in different situations, to give more characteristics that the doppelgangers can mimic.
So I get the whole that the remains is sort of like an entity and that it's using Davy to make the doppelgangers learn. But like, what's the reasoning behind it? Like, why is it Davy? Is there something about him? Like, does he have a lot of knowledge of the game, or does he have a lot of movements and expressions where they can learn from? And at that point, we saw that the two videos were sort of like made by the doppelganger. Are they just trying to like replace normal players for some reason? Or what's like the motive for these doppelgangers? That's what I'm wondering.
This is just a working theory, but if it's true, it holds some incredibly scary implications. The sixth video begins with a recap of recent events. For his second investigation into the remains, Davy plans on using the driller drone accessory and talking to the viewer through post-production commentary. He feels like something's been listening in on him, which is pretty on the mark when we consider the remains' learning nature. Anyways, he re-enters using the rejoin past server icon. This time around, he plans on stalling for income just in case his doppelganger comes back. He takes screenshots of important items like the tree motif and returns back to stalling at the base. For whatever reason, the leaderboard option is now selectable, though he doesn't have access to it despite having a reliable internet source. The connection's being blocked by something, but what? Davy-33 has joined the server. Davy's been waiting for this. He places down a tower, except instead of being a stationary pole, the Illuminator now presents itself as a more offense-oriented lantern, most likely due to the driller drone accessory. However, there's no doppelganger to be found. It's changing its approach this time.
Yeah, because it's learning, because in like last time he just straight beelined it to Davy, and then he just got instantly zapped by the tower, so it's learned like maybe I shouldn't just go straight forward. Maybe he's trying to like the doppelganger's gonna like lurk in the shadows, maybe like stalk Davy a bit, waiting for the perfect time to approach. Also, the dangerous part is that Illuminator is now around Davy and not a stationary tower anymore, so he has to watch out for that.
With the newfound protection, Davy heads down the path to the left. He re-enters the darkened temple, which has the same kneeling statues as the church, and continues forward. He does note that the layout's changed from his previous investigation, another sign pointing to the remains being a living, changing entity. And speaking of, Davy's tower limit has changed from a once high 8 to a mere 1. Whether this is from Driller Drone's interaction or the remains changing is unknown. Davy mentions that this area tends to contradict itself often. He continues, eventually passing the area where that sudden noise caused him to quit out last time. He scopes the local area and Davy's doppelganger just tried to sneak up on him. And in a panic, Davy buys and upgrades his lanterns, bypassing the limit somehow.
That's
even
good.
He's surprised, noting how the stats and descriptions might not even correlate to this particular tower. But he keeps moving on.
But it is like I said, like the doppelganger's like stalking him, trying to wait for the perfect moment.
Even so, though, he nearly gets caught off guard again. This time, Davy gives chase, always ensuring that the doppel is within his sight. He gets a few good shots off when the lanterns suddenly break. His confidence is waning, but surely the doppel is hurting from those hits. Davy later finds the limbs of his doppel, though something's off. The enemy counter is still at 1, so is this just a diversion? Luckily, though, The door behind him closes shut. His way back is blocked, for better or for worse, though he does find this mysterious door that lets him fast travel between the first and second base here. Outside the cave, Davey comes across another tree motive, this time incredibly large.
What?
Perhaps this is the remains warning him to maintain a steady defense for a potential threat. Did you see that? There's a figure watching him, most likely another doppel, though it wasn't Davy's. Its shirt color was a distinct blue, and its behavior too. Similar to Geometry's doppel, it just left the moment it noticed Davy looking towards it. If there's any significance to this, it's something that'll be found only when Davy enters.
Just like learning more like different versions of doppelgangers.
There are more of those uniform structures, more statues, but no sign of that figure. He looks through what is almost this office space when Geometry joins.
Huh?
Yeah, is that you?
Do you need my help?
Yeah, of course. I've been walking around for 15 minutes.
Tell me what you see.
Nah. I'm calling BS. I'm not trusting this. Hold up. Was the S always capitalized in his name? I'm saying this is not Geometry. Tell me what you see. Why do you really want to know that? Are you trying to chase me?
I like some bars that kind of remind me of a jail cell, but it isn't really a jail cell.
Are you facing the jail cell right now?
I don't trust it.
Turn right. Do you see a long hallway?
Of course.
Just walk down the long hallway.
This is really weird. Geometry's username has capitals where they shouldn't be, just like Davy's doppelganger in the first two videos. And he's uncannily familiar with this place, as if he's memorized the layout over and over again, unless he previously knew it from the start. The two eventually meet.
Oh my god. Hi Gia. Where have you been? Look, I am sorry, alright?
I've always been here.
Yep, that confirms it.
I need you to follow me.
Why? What is this place?
It's important. Just trust me. We're safe here. Don't worry about it.
Geometry's doppel leads Davy further into the cave. When Davy tries to ask him about his whereabouts, the doppel dodges his questions and continues to lead him further. After a while, it leaves Davy to explore the small room with the chair and shelf until...
What?
Where Geometry's doppelganger once was, now stands a stone statue, but that's the least of our problems here. The enemy counter has just increased the 2.
Okay, that's not
good.
good.
We didn't need to see that to know that something very hostile has just awoken. With the proximal thumping practically screaming that it's nearby, Davy has to be careful.
What the heck?
During his
I was about to say, like, that Geometry was like a doppelganger, but maybe he wasn't like an evil... like an enemy, because the lanterns didn't zap him when they did with Davy's doppelganger. So maybe that was a doppelganger, but not a bad one. Maybe it could be good ones.
Davy catches sight of this glowing red figure, who seems to be judging his position based on the lantern's lights. Davy pursues him while maintaining some distance, which is where the video ends. But hold on, let's rewind a little bit. Geometry's doppel was here, used by the remains as a bait to lure Davy closer to this entity. And once everything was set in place for the entity to be summoned, the remains no longer had a use for this doppel, leaving behind a stone statue. But I'm positive that these stone statues are doppelgangers, just not currently being used. Geometry's doppel shifting into one here isn't the only instance where it's happened. When Davy's doppel caught him and caused him to leave, it also reverted back into that stone statue form. What even happened to the real Geometry, the one who showed up in the first 2 videos? His doppelganger was very functional. It was able to communicate, move normally, and stop itself from beelining to Davy immediately, implying that it's fairly advanced, that it's had a lot of information to be trained off of. You know what I'm getting at. Is Geometry somehow stuck in World Tower Defense? Or worse, the remains? At least, conjecture that we can't confirm without watching the last video in this ARG.
That one's an hour long, damn.
Davy's still tracking the figure enveloped in the red aura, with the entity not too far behind. He reaches a hole that the figure presumably jumped down, and after a little hesitation,
this might
why
be a
not?
stupid idea.
He makes the descent. He continues outside, where it's somehow raining. The path loops back inside to a different part of the museum, in which there are art gallery displays of houses and, well, a single light pole. Even Davy says that it's odd for this to have its own dedicated room, but considering its efficacy against the doppelgangers, it's not surprising that the remains would display such a necessary defense as important.
Here, this painting caught my attention. It seems to be me and Gia. This seems to be me angrily walking away from someone. In this one, I am alone.
They depict Davy in different situations, though he doesn't reference them to any particular event, so it's hard to say if they even happened before. The implications are scary nonetheless. The remains is either capable of generating its own content outside of doppelgangers, or it has access to the memories of those who enter. The sparse forest Davy travels in eventually leads to this circle of vegetation. There's a monolith standing at the center, pretty reminiscent of the Illuminator's level 4 upgrade, and Davy's convinced that it has to do something. But with more to explore, he delves further into the forest until finally...
But I saw him again.
He follows him, ignoring this doppelganger.
Let's go.
Away. He can't afford to lose time.
Let's catch him.
Davy enters this abandoned city, fully knowing that this could be a trap, but he continues regardless. Into this building, into this hallway, when...
Okay, that's... Stop.
No.
Stop.
I am sorry. I am
What?
sorry.
Are you stupid?
I thought you were one of those doppelgangers. Look, I am really sorry.
Davy's pretty apologetic, but the two manage to clear the air. They briefly talk about the doppelgangers going about when James asks why Davy's here in the first place.
Why did it zap you,
Have
though?
you seen someone called Geometry around?
No. Why?
I've been trying to find him because he's my friend.
You looking for your friend?
Yeah, of course.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Do you need him?
Yeah, of course.
What if they betray you?
Then, I would leave them because then fear.
No, it's a doppelganger. He's learning right now. Oh my god. That's why it zapped him, of course. Because he's a doppelganger. But then why did it not zap the geometry doppelganger? But like the way he's asking questions, like, what if they betray you? Why do you need friends? It's like it's trying to learn, of like, it's interested in like why you need someone else. Like, what is the reasoning behind it? And maybe the doppelgangers will become friends with other doppelgangers, and then they'll gang up on you, and then you'll die.
Friend.
That makes everyone I knew a bad friend, man.
Something's off. It feels like James is leading into a point, but what?
Well, I think getting tricked and being let down is worse. People just disappoint me in general.
Wait.
The entity's here, right on cue, almost as if James summoned it. But that's the least of our concerns here. Davy has to focus if he wants to survive.
Like, for example,
What is that?
it's a long story, but I'll make it short. I did really well in the PvP duo tournament,
Okay.
but
He observes that this entity seems to be an amalgam of all the different enemies and bosses in World Tower Defense. He dodges its attacks accordingly.
I pointed in spawn Blaze Mancer at late game. We were so far into the game. I just had to do one thing.
Davy tries to get some chip damage in from a safe range. So far, he's doing pretty good for himself.
Literally late game.
But he nearly falls off the edge.
Please, he had all the money in the world. He couldn't do one thing. It was so great. So great.
He gets some decent damage off, but backs himself into a corner. He's lucky that his lanterns have a substantial amount of knockback.
Yeah.
As if in frustration, the entity roars. Seeing that it's only at half health, Davy takes the initiative and pushes forward.
Oh.
Barely falls off the edge again.
Okay.
Barely. He regains his footing.
Go on, Davey.
and
You the goat.
juking as best as he possibly
You're the World Tower
can.
Defense
And with
goat.
just a bit of health left, the entity's weak. Davy tries for a final push
Oh, and it,
and takes it.
you got him.
He makes sure that the amalgam is down. That fight took 60k of Davy's money, and he doesn't have much else to fight with.
Damn.
After he feels safe,
Dude, what the hell? Did you just try to kill me? Why?
It looked awesome. Okay, I
Wow.
think it was a
Oh.
Or, never mind. That's cool, actually.
for a moment he displays the doppel motive. But that's not important now. That amalgam is still alive, and Davy needs to get as much distance as he possibly can.
Yeah.
He tracks his way out of the cave, with the amalgam in hot pursuit. It's definitely weakened, but still alive, and more than capable of outlasting Davy's last lantern.
Oh, damn.
After a close call, he focuses exclusively on fleeing.
Yeah, you don't got the funds for this.
What if you come to the action?
With little options left, Davy buys the last lantern he can and focuses on destroying the bridge. He takes through the amalgam
Okay.
slams, which leads to its own downfall.
Oh my god.
See ya.
I wasn't even going to hurt you, but now I actually have a reason to.
What makes you say that?
You need to actually quit acting smart. You genuinely.
Pick the enemy counter. I don't think my unit is gone.
There's no way.
Wow. Okay.
The darkness clears, and the enemy count drops to 1. Davy can finally confront
Yes.
James about this whole fiasco.
No. No. Okay. Wait. Stop. Stop.
Zap him.
Davy buys another lantern.
Please.
Now
Zap.
you're saying stop?
Yes. Okay. I actually don't want to get
Zap him.
That thing hurts. Like it genuinely hurts.
You deserved it.
I'm not kidding.
It's an odd way of putting it. It's almost as if James can feel pain from the lanterns.
Okay, but what about me? You kept attacking me, but you
Yeah.
didn't stop.
Not the same. Okay, whatever. You don't understand.
Davy's showing a lot of restraint here. He plans their next step while James addresses why he tried to kill him.
Honestly, I don't know. I was so angry
Wow.
about that.
About the, like, tournament thing you were ranting about?
Yeah.
It's a throwaway answer, but I see its line of reasoning. James has a full theme of betrayal. His friends betrayed him. His accessory is literally named Betrayed, and he practically betrayed Davy when he summoned the amalgam. He needed to get that anger out, and Davy was the closest person he could direct it to. The pair talk about how they entered the remains. James just pressed to return the lobby after the tournament and somehow ended up here. As for Davy, well, you know what happened with him.
Right.
Another instance of the doppel motive, and James is suddenly changing his attitude about friends. Why?
Because he learned.
But a bit into the walk, something disturbing starts happening.
Hey, why do you have, like, rocks forming on you?
Huh? Oh, what? I didn't
Oh, he's
see
turning
that.
into stone.
Let's tally off what we know. James can feel the in-game damage as actual pain. His username is in a gradient, similar to that of Geometry's doppelganger. And now he's got this stone appearing all over his body. James might not be who Davy thinks he is. In fact, he might not be who he himself thinks he is. The two continue to make their way back. Apparently, they've both uploaded footage of the remains on their YouTube channels. It's just that James can't check out Davy's channel for some reason.
I can't. Well, are you in the same boat as me, David?
You have, like, a browser. What prevents you?
I don't know. I just can't. I just can't.
That's really weird. The leaderboard. James isn't on there for Davy, and neither Davy nor Geometry are on there for James. Both of them had assumed the other was in the server before they themselves joined. I thought it was a coincidence before, but the evidence here is just stacking way too high. I think
I didn't say this, but some of the earlier searches we saw looked familiar to me.
Like,
I don't know why. It just looked familiar.
Okay. So James is a doppelganger. I think that is pretty much confirmed. Like, there's no way he's not a doppelganger, but I think he is a doppelganger, or one of the first maybe that sort of turns sentient in a way, like he has his own thoughts. And since he's a doppelganger, his own thoughts are in some way someone else's. I'm guessing, and that he doesn't know that he's a doppelganger, so that's why he's always saying, like, I don't know, I don't want to talk about this, I don't know that, I don't know this. That's just my thoughts right now.
seriously, another doppel motive. The conversation moves to World Tower Defense accessories. James really enjoys using Betrayed, though he mentions how he does use other ones like Moonlight the License. That's when Davey knew he was being bullshitted. There's nothing, neither in the Trello nor the Discord, about a Moonlight the License in World Tower Defense. It doesn't exist, despite James insisting that
It's been in the game since forever.
the two finally come across the obelisk. Davey glances at James and notices that the stone on him has grown significantly. Or is it his avatar decaying, revealing the stone? Davey asks if the stone has anything to do with James not being able to search him up online, and something clicks in James. Davey has internet access, Davey has real-life friends, Davey has access to the outside world, but he himself doesn't. Why? Why are so many of the structures in here so familiar to him? Why is his avatar decaying into the stone? Why can he feel pain? Those doppelgangers from before. Maybe they're not so different.
Well, probably. You might be right.
Dude, you're scaring me. Why do you look like that?
James finally understands the situation. He's always been sentient, but now he's aware. His username reflects that.
Davey? Am I real?
Damn.
I mean,
Davey?
yes?
Help me.
James wants confirmation. He needs confirmation. He needs someone to acknowledge this warp's existence, this...
I won.
Oh!
I am so sorry.
The vegetation around lights up, and it begins to rain once again. The remains grieves for one of its most advanced creations. It was so close to being a convincing human. It was right there. But
Damn.
he learned it too much, too fast. Davy shifts about the obelisk and looks to the sky, then back down again. The enemy counter is still 1. The video ends. This is what I was trying to get at earlier. James wasn't a person, he was a doppelganger. Highly advanced, of course. Pretty much walked, talked, and acted like a normal person.
Yeah.
The signs were there. The gradient on his username, just like geometry stuff. The fact that he can feel pain. His speech breaking down into more and more doppelmotives as he began trying to comprehend an existence that didn't add up. His own. The list goes on, but you get it. James, this James, wasn't a real person, which is incredibly concerning because an actual James Warrior 14 does exist. He's the pinned comment in the 8th video, saying, "Oh, great video, but that is literally not me at all. For someone I didn't know, the James in the video does sound a bit like me sometimes, but otherwise, that's not me at all. Good work though." And if that's not enough to convince you, he says this later in the reply chain. "Riddle me this. If I joined Roblox 2 months ago, and your video was supposedly 6 months old, will I be in the video?" James hadn't been in World Tower Defense before Davey saw his doppelganger in the remains. As a matter of fact, he hadn't been in Roblox at all before then. We already established that the remains could access and influence the internet. But to create doppelgangers of someone it had never come into contact with before, and somehow get traits of the younger self right? The remains is learning quickly. Way too quickly. All Davey can hope for is that its intention to remain non-malicious. Hopefully,
that's a little
too
smart.
An objective for the foreseeable future. Alright, for the record, I know that there are absolutely holes in my remains theory, so tell you what, I'd love to discuss this ARG in the comments below. Tell me your interpretations, critique my own. Let me know if there are any important details that I missed. And, you know, like and subscribe, baby, yeah!
That was definitely a very well-written video, I would say. I personally didn't feel like there were really holes in the story or in the theory. I think that this video, the theory in this video was right. I mean, before he explained it, I already said, like, that doppelganger is sentient. The doppelganger realizing that it is a doppelganger broke its mind. It was like, am I real? Tell me. Davey, tell me, am I real? And the craziest thing is that the remains created that doppelganger before James ever joined that game. So it might be able to just take any character on Roblox, any account, and just make it into a doppelganger. I am still wondering, I said it in a video at some point, I'm wondering how they made this. Like, the remains, it feels so expansive. And I have watched a Minecraft ARG, which might be in the card somewhere at the end of this video. And that is easier explained in a way that Minecraft is a single player game. You can pretty much make your own stuff whenever you want, do whatever you want. Or at least one ARG I watched, I think, was in the single player world. But with Roblox, and in particularly this ARG, I think, I'm not sure, World Tower Defense is probably an actual game on Roblox, so I wonder how they somehow maybe worked with the devs, or the devs of that game made this ARG as something, maybe to promote the game. Because, like, how else would you make the teleporter go from the game to the remains and the UI, and maybe it's not like marketing for the game, or the creators of World Tower Defense worked with the ARG creator. This was a really interesting story about the remains being a living thing and creating doppelgangers and getting smarter and smarter and smarter. But I would have liked to see more of, like, how smart can the doppelgangers get, or how smart are the doppelgangers getting. Still pretty good video, like always. Link is in the description to the original creator. Be sure to support them and support the video, watch for yourselves. And yeah, comment maybe some more Roblox ARGs I should watch, or ARGs in general. I have done a Minecraft ARG, which will be on the screen in the end cards right now. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Alright, see you, bye.